Hi, my name is Oscar, and I'm a scientist in biotechnology in the US. About 3 years ago, I applied for a green card in the category EB-2 NIW, or National Interest Waiver. That is a visa category, a permanent residency category where you can self-petition, you do not need a sponsor, and you can do it without lawyers if you choose to do so. In this channel, I will help you achieve the goal of getting your green card under the EB-2 NIW category if you qualify for it and if you decide to apply. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the USCIS Visa Bulletin, a really important aspect that you need to know when you are preparing your case. If you like this video and you think it's useful, make sure you subscribe to my channel. First of all, you may be wondering what is the Visa Bulletin. It is a monthly publication that the USCIS releases to help you understand when you can file for an adjustment of status. So this is relevant once you have your I-140 approved. That is the first part of the process. Then you can check this bulletin to understand when can you file for an adjustment of status, or if you're filing from abroad, from a different country, where can you go to the consulate to get your green card processed. The main reason we need a bulletin is because the US government limits the number of visas of green cards that they give every single year. There's a number for family-based green cards, and there's a number for employment-based green cards, which is about 140,000 green cards given in a single year. And that includes EB-1, EB-2, EB-3, and so on. All right, so let's see where can we find this bulletin and how can we interpret what the bulletin tells us. So in order to do that, really easy, you just go to Google and type Visa Bulletin and go to your first result here, the Visa Bulletin travel.gov. Always check official sources of information. So that's a US government website because it finishes in .gov. And you usually can see the current month, June of 2022, but you can also take a look at what the dates are going to be next month, in this case, July 2022. So let's take a look at July and see how the Visa Bulletin looks like. So you can see that they will give you a brief explanation about the numbers and how many visas there are. For example, here you can see that there's 226,000 family-sponsored visas or green cards, and there's 140,000 for employment-based preference green card. So you can read a little bit about how the numbers are allocated. But the important thing is there are two main sections, one for family-based green cards and one for employment-based green cards. So in our case, we're going to focus on employment-based. So let's skip this first part and go to our employment-based. And then again, you see an explanation that the USCIS gives you about the different categories, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Those are the known EB-1, EB-2, EB-3, and so on. And you can see how, for example, EB-1 gets about 30% of the green cards each year. EB-2 is the same, about 30% as well. And that's actually the category where EB-2 NIW, or National Interest Waiver, is part of. So once you are here, there are two subsections that are important. One is A, final action dates, and then there's B, dates for filing. So when I started this process, I was actually not very sure what those two things were. There's two tables. There's one table in each of these sections, and I didn't know which table I should look. So now I'm very clear about this. So the table A, final action dates, that's the table that you need to look if you are a person that is already in the United States. So let's give an example. You are a student under an F1 visa, or you're a worker in an H1B visa. You're already in the US, you are performing your work or your studies, and you're in a non-immigrant status already in the US. So this section, final action dates, is the table you have to look. All right. So if you are outside of the US, then you have to go to B, dates for filing. Let's say that you are a person that is in Spain or in Canada or whatever country that is not the US, and you want to apply for a green card. You already submitted your I-140. Now you want to check when can you do your second part of the process. Because you're outside of the US, you are going to have to do that in a consulate in your country. So you need to check these dates for filing in this table. All right, so that's the difference between those two. So for most people, I think they're going to do an adjustment of status. So they're going to come here and look at the final action dates. Once you see this table, then you have to figure out what row you need to look at. If you are filing for an EB-2 NIW category, then that's a second preference green card. So you check this row, and then you need to determine what is the column that you need to look at. So for most countries, you may be able to just go to the first column. That's all countries except the ones listed in the following columns. So let's say you are like me from Europe. So then you will come to this column and you will see that there is a letter C. That means current. So that means that when I receive my I-140 approval, in that moment, I don't have to wait. I can go ahead and submit my adjustment of status. That is because the number of green cards that the US allocates per country on that year has not been filled. So there's still green cards available and you can go ahead and do it immediately. So you can submit your I-485, which is the adjustment of status. However, if you are from, for example, China or India, China and India here, then you will see an actual date. So that means that you cannot do your adjustment of status right now. You have to wait until your priority date is either this date listed here or earlier than this. And you may be wondering, and how do I check for that? So you go to your official documentation. In this case, you go to your notice of action that you received once you file your I-140, and you will go to the second row. You will get your priority date right here. So in this example, it's October 28, 2010, because this is earlier than the date given in the bulletin. Then you could go ahead and submit your adjustment of status. All right. So keep in mind also that you have 1 year to take action once your priority date becomes actionable. So if you don't do that, then the USCIS may consider that you are dropping your case and you're no longer interested in getting that green card. So make sure that you follow up on this. If you are filing from a different country, then your case will be given to the National Visa Center, or NVC, and they should be the ones getting in touch with you once your date is current. And that is because they need to contact the consulate or embassy in your country so you can actually schedule an appointment and you can go there and do the second part of the process, the equivalent of the adjustment of status, but it's called consular processing in the country where you're based on. Thank you for watching this video. That's it for today. If you have any question or comment, please post in the comments below. Let me know what you think, what topics you would like to see in this channel. And as usual, you can go to EB2NIW.info to get more information about this visa category.